What is up, guys, and welcome back to the episode of the F1 Clash 2024 series. We are here for episode number 9 today to continue our series into series 3. If you guys did miss the previous episode in episode number 8, definitely be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. Quite an entertaining episode as we continue to fight our way through and continuing our hot win streak here and coming into Baku for our first race here in episode 9. It is raining once again, so we're going to have to deal with some wet weather, but luckily it'll be easier for us because the drivers are doing well in the qualifying with Sargent in 14th, and as you can see here, rocking another new driver. We are rocking Pierre Gasly in 16th place here, so hopefully he'll also give us some good results for the start of the race, though, looking to try to give our drivers some boost. We don't have a lot of boost to play with, but we do have a nice variety at least. We already give Sargent potentially the Jin boost, which does help with defending, considering that he doesn't have the greatest race start stat. But for Gasly, since he does have a good race start stat, we are going to give him the skull boost in an attempt to try to get up towards the field. Then as we go to 5 red lights once again, lights out, and away we go. Sargent doesn't get the greatest start, but luckily Gasly does get a decent start there, and he is up into 13th place immediately with Sargent just behind him there as we crawl away through turn 2 there. And Gasly gets out of there a little bit, but so far we have maintained our positions up on the field, and now Gasly is starting to make his way up through the order here as he's now up into 11th, and Sargent's not doing too bad himself as he's now up into 13th place. So drivers looking okay so far as we make our way into the heart of Sector 2 with Gasly in 10th, Sargent in 13th, and make that 9th for Gasly as Gasly is flying up there at the moment here. And considering the fact that this is Baku, it is going to be a 2-stop race. We have 7 laps then of the Baku City Circuit to contend with as we make our way into the start of lap number 2 then. And we are going to be giving Gasly priority since he is the front runner of the 2 drivers. As Sargent unfortunately has fallen down to 15th because our opponent is also using some boost as well, and he does get past with his Sargent. I think that's the skull boost for our opponent as well, but luckily we are able to counter that more or less with our own skull boost, with Gasly up in 7th and Sargent in 15th, and make that 6th as Gasly continues to make his way up through the field here, and that's just crucial for us before he does hit the pit stops. And as for Sargent, he will be coming in, of course, on the next lap as we both make the way onto the main straight. Then Gasly makes his way into the pit as we start lap number 3. Then Sargent will just about, I think, be able to make it 3 laps there as we cross the line. He will cross the line with pretty much 33% tire, so considering the fact that he is very, very close on tires, we're probably going to nurse them a little bit, but for now he is okay as Gasly reemerges then in P17 then, so he is doing okay for now at the moment. And as for our rival, he's actually making Sargent go farther ahead, so I'm actually surprised to see if he can pull this off, because definitely splitting the strategies is important here. If we tried to double stack, I think both of the guys would have been held up a little bit there. So let's see how this guy plays out his 2-stop strategies, or if he tries an audacious 1-stop, which I don't think is going to be possible considering the fact that Sargent doesn't have the greatest tire wear or the tire management specifically, and also that skull boost does not necessarily help with tire wear at all. Sargent just about makes it into the pits there. He will go on to another set of wet tires there as Gasly is now up into 5th place. Then Sargent will re-emerge in about P16 there, so not too bad. We are sandwiching our opponent at the moment here. He is currently sitting in 10th and 12th respectively then, but luckily since Gasly is all the way up in 5th, he is offsetting the point values right now. So right now looking not too bad right now, and it's just really a matter of can we see if we can hold on until the end of the race. Sargent will be looking to try and see if we can make another 2-stop work with him. We'll probably stop him on lap number 5 or lap number 6 depending on the traffic. But as for Gasly though, his tires are starting to wear out a little bit, so we're going to put him into the pits on this coming lap here, starting on lap 5 onto lap 6. Sargent is just chilling in P16 at the moment. But so far, yeah, this has been a very good start to the episode. I'm glad to see Gasly is doing well in the team. It's always kind of nervous using some new drivers. Gasly, his stats-wise, his qualifying is probably middle of the range at the moment. But definitely his strongest stat is the race start, which does help him to climb up through the order. So I am a bit grateful for that. And it does counter Sargent, who is able to qualify high enough, but he does have a kind of a sluggish race start. So unfortunately, that is not the case then. But anyways, Sargent is still sitting in P17 then, so I think we're probably going to be forced to pit him potentially on the last lap. But interestingly though, our rival actually double stacked there a little bit, so that's actually going to cost us a lot of time. He's going to cost himself a lot of time there. He actually made such a big mistake that I couldn't speak correctly there for half a second. But we're going to be putting Sargent here on the last lap, or onto lap 6, until lap number 7. And so it's going to be a bit interesting to see how this is going to play out there. But as you can see, his Hulkenberg is struggling massively, but we're not able to make any sort of amends past him. And because of the fact that his Hulkenberg is out of tires there, so actually I thought they double stacked there, but apparently Hulkenberg went straight through the pits there, so he does not have any tires. So it's actually a bit lucky for us, because if he did double stack, we probably would have been in big trouble there and lost this race. But luckily for us, though, he made a mistake, I made a mistake as potentially as well. So we are going to be coming home with a victory, as Gasly is chilling up there in 5th place. Wet tires again for Logan Sargent, as this has been a full wet race for the entirety of this Grand Prix. Then Sargent will re-emerge in P16, and now it's just a chance just to bring it home for the team for another strong victory as we continue to fight our way through Series 3. We are pretty much halfway then through this series, so hopefully we can be able to burn through Series 3 quickly and get on to Series 4 as Gasly comes across the line in P5. There are 20 strong points then for the Frenchman. A great debut then for Gasly. And as for Sargent there, kind of screwing up the strategy with him a little bit there. I was actually intending to pit him on lap 5, but he crossed the line there before I could hit the pit stop button. But luckily, though, we managed to get away with it. He's going to come across the line in P16. That's going to be another win for us there. He's going to pick up 9 points for us there. So that's 29 points then on the weekend, thanks to our strong effort from Gasly. Sargent picking up the pieces on the way home. And so that's another victory for us. And we will move on to the next episode, to the next race. But before we do that, though, we are going to open up the crate that we did unlock after claiming our victory in this race. And we are getting a decent amount of assets, I would say. But it's not the greatest assets. But to be fair, we're still only in Series 3 at the moment. And I still am in need of trying to get some more coins. We are trying to upgrade our components, but unfortunately we just do not have the facilities for that at the moment yet. But enough talking. We are on to Las Vegas then, and now we have a chance for quite an interesting strategy here, because the one stop definitely is a popular strategy at the Las Vegas Strip Circuit, especially since you have that super long back straight there where you can easily not only manage tires but also be able to definitely charge us some battery. But now you can see us, we're rocking a slightly different lineup here with now Albon taking the place of Logan Sargent. But Gasly, thanks to his strong efforts in the previous race, he will maintain his spot at least for this episode as we get ready for another round. It looks like we're going to be giving some timeless boost to Albon. His race start stat isn't too bad, but it's not the greatest either, especially since we are in Series 3. He is not the greatest driver to use in Series 3 at the moment, considering the fact that he is not fully upgraded. And as for Gasly, we will give him the Rainbow Boost, which gives him a slight edge in the race start, so hopefully that'll be decent for us. Lights out, and away we go, and it's a perfect start for both of us there, and it's got Albon moves up into 6th place there. Gasly got a bit of a sluggish start at the moment there, but he is now up making his way through the field. Then he is up into 14th place as we speak. Albon has now made his way up into 5th and made that 4th as he goes on the outside there of one of the Red Bulls, so he is continuing to fly as we speak there. Now he'll settle into 4th place, nice and easy, trying to get past the Mexican there, but just not having enough momentum. And Gasly will stay in 13th at the moment, so very, very strong start for both drivers there, as now Albon makes his way onto the podium places at the moment there. And now this is a place where we can charge the battery a little bit and hopefully get some extra speed for the next straight, as Gasly stays in P12. Then he's also had a pretty decent start as well. And as for our rival, well, he's absolutely nowhere at this moment in time, so hopefully he'll be up here quite soon, or hopefully not. Hopefully we can have a pretty quiet race up top. We are using some pretty powerful boosts, though, I will admit. The timeless boost I think is like a plus 15 to race start, and the Rainbow gives a plus 5, not only 5 to race start, but also like plus 20 to speed. So these are some pretty extreme boosts, considering the fact that we probably could have gotten away with some pretty lighter boosts, but it is part of the game, you know. And you know, there's no rules against not using it, so we have the right to use it in this game. Is it a bit cruel? I will admit yes, but I want to win, and if I want to win, I got to do what it takes, you know. Anyways, enough yapping at the moment. Gasly is now up in 10th. Albon is up in 3rd, so this is looking very, very strong for the drivers at the moment as Albon makes his way through the chicane here. These guys are doing so well, I can't even speak properly. As we can see, a nice shot there of Gasly overtaking Stroll up into P9 just before he enters the pit lane. Then Albon will come into the pits then. Soft tires on, another set of soft tires on as well, and he would get away nice and smooth. And that's for Gasly, the same thing, soft tires off, soft tires on again then. So looks like we are going to be re-emerging in P6 and P9, I think that is. So, or sorry, P10, eventually be P10. So looking pretty strong at the moment here. Right now, at the moment, I think we would be finishing with about 38 something points. So this is a very nice result then for us. We've actually had Gasly, who's done a very solid job here, replacing for the second driver. Sargent did a very good job in the first race. He did kind of get screwed over by us, but we did manage to recover. And as for Albon, so far he's been driving perfectly right now. His qualifying stat really put him in a great position at the start of the Grand Prix, and his race start, along with the race start boost that we did give him, helped him to get off the line really fast. So hopefully we can just bring it home here without any more strategic blunders. We do have one more pit stop to do with Albon and Gasly. We're going to put them on the soft tires once again, and then we'll probably charge up the battery for a last lap dash here. We'll give Albon and Gasly the soft tires. That is confirmed as they make their way into the right-hander here. Albon drops to 4th momentarily though, but our focus is not on trying to overtake these guys. It's just about trying to bring home this win at the moment here. Gasly in 9th, he's not doing too bad himself. He is just simply chilling. He's actually catching one of the guys there. He's catching, I think, one of the McLarens. I'm not sure if that's Norris or Piastri, but at the moment here, Albon is actually sitting in 6th, and actually, to be fair, put Albon there on a bit of a push at the moment because Albon is not as far ahead as I would have liked compared to Gasly, so there is a chance that they might get held up in the pits. But that being said, our opponent is so far behind, it really doesn't matter. In fact, our opponent is, I think, 19th and 23rd that was we're speaking, so it really probably wouldn't matter, but just to play it safe, we're going to make sure they have quite enough space. Albon, soft tires off, soft tires on, again, he will come into the pits. Gasly, and he gets held up just a little bit there, but luckily not too much, as Albon will re-emerge in P8 then. And as for Gasly, as he comes out of the pits, 5.1 seconds for the Frenchman, he will come out in P010. So now it's just a case of simply bringing it home. Yeah, there's not really much more to this episode, is there? Anyways, I might as well fill the last 3 minutes with some speaking. In terms of where we are in the series, we are very close to the end of Series 3. We probably have like a couple more episodes in this series before we can move on to Series 4. And that's where things are going to start to get interesting, because that's where we're going to start to unlock some of the better drivers, like one of the ones from like Red Bull, Ferrari, Aston, McLaren, even Mercedes. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when we get those kind of guys. And if really these guys like Gasly or Albon can stay relevant in that kind of series for really how long, because we're going to have to replace them at some point. And then on to Series 5 with the top common guys. And then comes Series 6, where it's going to be a bit different, because we're going to acquire drivers that are in the rare category. And, you know, they're a lot harder to get. They're a lot more expensive to upgrade. And as we know, these microtransactions within this game are brutal, to say the least. So it might be interesting to see how long it's going to take for us to get through the series. Once we get up to the areas of like Series 5, Series 6, considering the fact these upgrades are massive. But that's quite far in the future. Let's just focus on the present at the moment, and that at the moment is charging our way through the field here. Albon and Gasly are both on full push mode. That we gave them a full battery to start this lap in an attempt to try to get the fastest lap. And they think they will do so successfully, as Gasly makes his way up into 8th at the last second there. Albon will come home in P6 there with the fastest lap there. So a strong job then from the Thai driver, but Gasly will steal it at the end there. He will come home in P8, and that is a very nice result then for the team, as we will come home with, well, I think that's almost 40 whole points then for the team. And meanwhile, our opponent is still making his way through the sequence of corners here. So yeah, this is quite a dominant win. As I said, the boosts were quite extreme, but you know, this is a game and there are no rules against using that. So, you know, we can take the win. We take the win, we keep our head down, and hopefully we can keep the momentum up. But anyways, that is going to be it then for this episode. If you guys did enjoy this episode, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys do enjoy the series, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I am trying to make my way through the series as quickly as I can, of course, before the game switches to the 2025 updates, so be sure to stay tuned. I'm also trying to upload some other series as well to try to keep the content fresh and a big variety. Jeez, I can't speak. I'll go rest my voice here a little bit. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon for the next episode as we look to continue to march to Series 3 very quickly. Goodbye, everyone.